Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn to Trade. I am Kevin Tate, and I'm glad to be here today with you. Today's broadcast is called a Bally Walk-in Freezer Door Cap Survey Overview Checklist of the checklist. And what this is there's a um, there's a site that I'm working on, and they requested to have their walk-in freezer door replaced. Um, So I went out to the site to do a survey because Bally, they provide the replacement door cap, and they require a checklist to be done. And also, it's a good thing to go out and look at your sites before you do any work, just to do a site survey and stuff like that, just to kind of know what's going on ahead of time. So what I did is I'm preparing this video so that we can be able to go over that checklist, and you'll be more aware of what to expect, what measurements to take of the door and of the door assembly, and what Bally is looking for specifically. So let me switch over to a share screen here. This is the door cap order form. As you can see, it has all of their information where you can order parts, you can email them, and then they have their phone number listed up top too. So hopefully you can see that well. And this is the paperwork you will receive. This is the actual survey form. So let me just scroll down and we'll go through it. It says if the door cap you are replacing is not a Bally door, use the adapt the door order form. So in that they are able to adapt to just about any walk-in freezer door configuration. They just need to have the specific measurements and stuff, and they have another section called adapt a door form. So that form would have other things. This particular location has a Bally door, so it, it worked out with that. But what they do is they go from through A to I, and they have specific areas that they want you to measure. And I'm going to show you they also send a schematic, like a diagram of where to actually take those measurements from. So I'm going to share that with you also. And also, I will provide you with the link to Bally. Um, that email link. I'll provide you with that email link there for the parts and stuff like that. If you ever are in need of it, you'll have it already. So let's start with the measurement requirements. Uh, letter A is the exterior width of the door. So they want you to measure the exterior width of the door. And let me see if I can share this one screen at the same time. I doubt it. Yeah, I probably won't be able to do that, but I will show you on the diagram after I complete this one here. B, the overall thickness of the door. C, the height of the door cap from top to bottom, outside to outside, including the wipe, the wiper gasket. So the wiper gasket, in case you're not familiar with it, I'll show that area to you also. This particular door that I was measuring out didn't have the wiper gasket, so I wasn't. I will have to. That will have to be ordered along with the door. Um, but the wiper gasket goes on the bottom of the door, the very bottom of the door. It's like it helps to seal that opening below the door. So D, letter D, the height of the door, including the bottom wiper gasket. So now, first they wanted the measurement from top to bottom without the wiper gasket. Now they're asking how many inches it would be from the top to the bottom of the wiper gasket. E, letter E, is the location of closer, the door closer, measuring from the hinge side of the door. So this is a particular, they want to know the particular measurement from the hinge side of the door to the middle of that door closer, which I'll show you in a few minutes. F is the location of the top hinge, measuring from the top of the door to the center of the door hinge. G is from the center of the middle hinge to the bottom of the door. H is from the center of the bottom hinge to the bottom of the door. I is from the center of the latch to the bottom of the door. And then they ask you further questions here where they say select the finish of the door. So is it going to be galvanized? Is it going to be chrome? Stuff like that. So they want to know the actual finish of it. And then 11, they go into select the swing of the door. Facing the door, what side of the door are the hinges on? So right there, you would look at face the door, and then whatever side your hinges are on, that's what you would put down so that they know which way it's going to swing open. And then you have 12, which is optional add-ons, anything that would need to be added on, you would have to list it in there. And then they ask for the model and serial number, which is on the inside of the door, um, right in the freezer area, the box area next to the vapor light. And that's the survey form right there. Now let me just see if I can switch over and share this one with you. Let me see. There we go. All right. All right. Give me a second here. Oh, screen. Yeah, right here. If I could share this one with you here. There we go. Okay, you see this one? This is the diagram I was talking about. And just line it up right. Okay, so try and make it a little bigger so you can see right there. Okay, so right up here, let's start with A. That was the exterior width of the door. So this is what they're talking about, the actual width of the door. So you would be measuring from one side to the other side there. B is the thickness of the door. So you would measure that thickness, and then you would put that down on your survey form. C is that one from top to bottom without the door sweep, without the wiper gasket. That was C. and D is the same measurement, but all the way down to the wiper gasket or door sweep. It depends on who you're talking to. They use basically those two names, either the wiper gasket or the door sweep. And E, that was the one from the edge of the door to the center of the door stop. This right here is your door stop. Okay, so that's the one that you would measure from the middle of the from the center of the hinge over to the center of the door stop. That door stop is actually like a pivoting wheel, like a pivot with a wheel on it that it catches into a hook when you close it, and then it provides a better seal. It allows the door to seal tighter when it closes, and then it just snaps back when someone goes to open it. It just snaps right out. Now that was E. Let's see. The next one was F. That's the location at the top hinge, measuring from the top of the door to the center of the door hinge. So right here, from the top of the door to the center of the door hinge. So they have it marked fairly well. And G is from the middle of the center of the middle door hinge down to the bottom of the door. And then H, that's from the center of the bottom door hinge to the bottom of the door, right down here. And then I is from the center of your door latch. This is your door latch area. And you would go from the center of the door latch down to the bottom of the door. And those are your locations that you would survey for that. And like I said, I will provide you with this email if you haven't gotten it already. I'll put that down in the description as well. So I just this is something that I thought I would share with you, um, just to give you a little backup story on this. This particular site that I went to do this survey at, we take care of them often. All of their um, service on their ice makers, on their soda. Well, now we don't do their soda machines. Coke has that, and but we used to do their soda machines. We used to do the old towers, the old fountain soda towers there, and um, Coke ended up taking all of those out and putting them in with their freestyle machines. So we basically take care of the ice makers and their under counter refrigerators, their reach ins, and occasionally we'll take care of their walk ins. We used to take care of all of their walk in work, but we got a little short-handed, so that ended up going to another contractor. But the thing with this door assembly is that contractor put in a bid for that to do the replacement of that door, and it was a little high for the customer to handle. So they asked us to come out and survey it and see if we would be interested in putting a bid in as well. Um, so what I basically looked at from looking at this door, um, I didn't really see I didn't really see any reason that they needed to replace that door. Um, excuse me. So my concern is if we went in and we replaced the door, but there happened to be other issues, would we be, you know, we would then be in the middle of that situation. We'd have to, go back and do the work to get it right, to get it done running. When in actuality, I didn't see any issues with the hinges. I didn't see any issues with uh, the door closer. I didn't see any issues with the gasket. The gasket was brand new around the door. Um, so I mean, I really don't see us doing this, putting a bid on this, because basically what you're doing is you're opening a whole can of worms. Because if you go in and just for, let's just shoot a number out there, say uh, for the 4,500, $5,000 to for the whole job to do this door. Okay, that's a good payday. But what if the other company didn't diagnose this right, and then there's other issues? There could be issues with the condenser unit, the evaporator unit. It could be issues on the roof, in the condenser area. Condenser fan could be out, and without knowing all of that, or without knowing the past history of it, you can be opening a whole can of worms taking on a job like this. So this is why it's best to go ahead and do a site survey first, figure out, is the unit working? Because in this situation, this particular walk-in was out for months. It was off for months. So there's no telling what was wrong with it before, and um, why the other company didn't um, at least get it up and running in order to test out the door theory that they have. So these are the questions that I had. And when I spoke to the manager of this establishment, I asked him, if this was on Friday, this was yesterday, I talked to him and I said, would you be able to turn the unit on Monday? And then I'll come back Tuesday or Wednesday to check out the system. And then at that time, I got, like a blank look from him. And then he said, well, I really don't think it works. And then so that brought another question up to me, which is, if you don't think it works, like to turn it on, you don't think it would even turn on? He says no. So I said, well, if you don't think it's going to work, why would you want to get the door replaced instead of seeing why it's not working? And then he just said, well, I just figured we would get the door fixed since the other company said that it needed a door. And then you know I had to tell him that I really don't see anything wrong with the door, so I would be um, cautious of replacing that door so soon, because you're going to put out a lot of money just to replace something that probably is not even a problem. So the main thing is to, get that thing back up and running first, and then we can come back and test out the door. And now that way the ball's back in his court, and he can either go with the other company to come back out and get it running at least, and then have us come out and do the door, or he can just go with the other company completely. But um, for the for this particular job, that is why I advise to always go out before you accept the jobs. Go out and do a site survey at the locations if you're able to. If you're able to work something out where you can go check out the site ahead of time, to see what they have and see what they're having a problem with, that's the best way to go. Um, and a lot of times it may not work out that way, but it's always better to check it out. And even if it doesn't work out where you're going out on a particular site survey, you can always go there with the intent to fix the problem. But if you're not able, you can at least survey the area then at that point in time and then decide, whether to take the job or not, and then again, this is another thing that is um, very important to be aware of writing up service contracts. Um, I do have some a guide that's available now on the website. You can go there and check it out, but it is very important in situations like this. If you're dealing with other companies, other businesses, it's always a good thing to try to establish a service contract with that customer. If that's going to be a steady customer, work out a contract with them and um, go to my website and check out the contracts guide. Writing effective contracts, creating an effective service contract. Go check that out. Get it if you can, and make yourself aware of these things where it's going to help you in the long run, having the knowledge and understanding of what it takes to create an effective contract for yourself and for your customer, and then proceed from there. Because then, look at it this way: you always have yourself covered. You're not going to get slammed with you know expensive liabilities and stuff like that, and miscommunication. Everything is on the table when you write an effective service contract. So I do advise you to go check that out at my website. And I look forward to doing more of these. I hope this was helpful for you. You never know what you could run into in this industry. Anything goes. I mean, anything can come up. So you never know what type of job you're gonna come into. So that's the thing about it, is at least being prepared and having a plan. So that's all I have for now. I thank you all for watching. I hope this was useful to you all, and I look forward to doing more of these. And we'll see you on the next job. Stay well and be blessed.